score field, we have an athlete from each team that will read the sportsmanship creed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, an introduction of the non-starters first. For the Patriots of Albemarle High School, number 4, Christian Smith. Number 5, Isaac Ray. Number 12, Vivian Robinson. Number 13, Raylan Kepperwall. Number 14, Julian Sims. Number 15, Jakar Ragan. Number 23, Darius Pangros. Number 25, Jacqueline Balkan. And now for the Stallions of Green Run High School. Number 3, Fonzie Rudolph. Number 4, Davion Burrell Williams. Number 12, Evan Gay. Number 13, Jason Palmer. Number 14, Roosevelt Whitfield. Number 15, Jaden Walker. Number 20, Malik Roundtree. Number 21, Alexander Gandy. Number 22, Sean Bray Smith. Number 23, DeAndre Gaden. Number 24, Jaden Johnson Drummond. And now for your starters. First for Albemarle, number 1, Isaiah Harris. The Green Line, number 0, Julius Hyman. For Albemarle, number 2, Makai Ragland. The Green Line, number 1, Sean Michael Goodman. For Albemarle, number 3, Azarian Axton. For Green Line, number 2, Elijah Ellison. For Albemarle, number 11, Davion Carter. For Green Line, number 5, Cassidy Jackson. And for Albemarle, number 22, Isaiah Jackson. For Green Line, number 11, David Miller. Head coach of Albemarle, Greg Hammond, assisted by Drew Hammond and Ryan Landry. Head coach of Green Line, Kevin Harris, assisted by Ryan Cooper and Amari Sonny.
So those are your starting 5 for each squad. Albemarle again, junior 6'2" guard Isaiah Harris, 6'6" sophomore forward Makai Ragland, 6'4" junior forward Azarian Claxton, 5'11" junior guard Xavion Carter, and 6'6" junior forward Marjalen Jackson. Jackson, Region 5C Player of the Year, and Harris, the Jefferson District Player of the Year. And for Green Run, Julius Hyman's a 6-foot-tall junior guard, Malik Gooden, a 5'10" junior guard, Elijah Ellison, a 6'4" junior wing, Cassidy Jackson, a 6-foot-tall senior point guard, and David Trey Miller, a 6'5" senior forward. Trey Miller becoming the all-time leading scorer in Green Run history this postseason. Jackson, the Region 5A Player of the Year. Coach Kenneth Harris for Green Run, a career record of 218. Check that, 288 and 118, 288 wins, 118 losses in 17 years. Greg Maynard with 615 victories in his 36 seasons. And Tim and Ed, we're ready for some basketball. Green Run in the white units with the green numbers and green trim. Albemarle with their blue jerseys, the white trim, and the red numbers. Here it comes, the Class 5 finals from the Stuart C. Siegel Center on the campus of VCU in Richmond, and the tip controlled by Cash Jackson and the Stallions, who are going from left to right. It'll be bounced from Jackson over to Hymans. Hymans among the three-point leaders in the Beach District this year with 36 makes. Jackson across the way, screen set by Miller. He drops to the right hand, pulls it back, little head fake move. Off the backboard, no good. It's tapped out by Jackson, but the rebound on the offensive end secured by Miller. Hymans bounces it to Ellison in the corner. And Green Run as we tick towards 7.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Handed off from Jackson to Malik Gooden. Gooden's made 32 threes this year. Is it 33 now? That went off the back of the rim, rebounded by Albemarle and Harris. And here come the Patriots for their first possession.
Again, filling out process at first, Matt. It's both these teams playing on this large court, which is bigger than what they played on each year. The college court's 94 feet, high school's 84.
High post jumper for Jackson. A hand got on it. It was Malik Gooden committing that personal foul. But how about Jackson this year, guys? And the coaches for the Cure event against LC Bird, who they later played in the Region 5C Championship. Back on February 1st, he had 35 points, 22 in the second half of that comeback win over the Skyhawks with 9 rebounds. The Charlottesville transfer has made his presence felt all year long.
Big fellow, strong inside rebounder, can shoot outside though too. Don't get lost on his ability to play out there. And for Green Run number 5, Cassidy Jackson, I've watched him play 4 games this year. That kid has impressed me every single game. I saw a ton of games this year. He would be in my top 5 of what I've seen this year.
Almost 30 points in the Virginia Preps Classic, a win against Oscar Smith, 19 points and 7 steals against the Crabbers of Hampton High, who won the Class 4 state championship last year. But the first point is scored by Albemarle, with Jackson splitting a pair of free throws. And now Green Run looks to tie it up or take the lead. Jackson behind the back of the dribble. Trey Miller working that baseline.
Albemarle straight man-to-man.
Here's Jackson attacking the right hand, kicks it over to Ellison. Pump fake, gets by Ragland, tries to scoop it in for 2, and the Stallions take the lead 2-1 with the slasher Elijah Ellison, who, guys, last year broke his leg the first game of the season against Kempsville, but this year he's become an X-Factor for Coach Harris.
Well, you talk about X-Factor, he's XYZ for me in this game. I think when it's all said and done, if Green Run gets a win, this kid is going to be the one that we're going to talk a lot about. Cassidy at number 5 and Trey Miller 11, we haven't heard from yet, are the big guns, but this Ellison kid is one to watch. Here's
Albemarle with the basketball. Makai Ragland, he's got a bright future, just a sophomore. He earned all-region accolades, second team as a freshman last year. Here's Harris with the dribble. Pull-up 3 from straight away. It's off the side of the backboard. Tapped out by Hymans, but it's going to be Jackson levitating it for a second, trying to get it on the follow, and it will go out of bounds. So we see Jackson in the offensive glass, but Green Run has the ball, and a 2-1 lead here with 6:12 to go in our first period.
Again, you got to look. My observation in all these type of games is attack inside. And I know a lot of basketball now is being played outside the three-point line, but get it inside.
We mentioned Miller earlier. He recently passed one of your former players at Green Run, Ed, and B.J. Jenkins, to become the school's all-time leading scorer, closing in on 1,400 in his career. They've had a lot of good scores. Jenkins comes to mind, the late, great Ashley James, Jacob Cooper, Tyler Blunt, among others. Here's Hymans. Has to get rid of it. Over to Jackson. Now they go to Miller, who's open on side. One power dribble underneath. And almost, yes, he does score it off the glass for 2. He was so wide open, he hesitated for a second.
A little reverse lay, got caught underneath. They missed him earlier. Albemarle missed a defensive assignment. Yeah, you talk about Green Run tradition. Plexico Burris is another name from the past. He played a great NFL wide receiver years ago.
And a missed shot there. And Tim, you may not have known it before Ed got to Nance River. He coached for 2 seasons at Green Run. Runner is no good for Claxton. And then Danny Erb, one of his assistants, took over. But he was a part of that turnaround. And there's Jackson inside for the deuce. And that upset Coach Harris because Albemarle stayed with it on that one. And they were able to score it to trim into that lead. Now Jackson goes to the floor. It's loose. Here's Jackson and a chance in transition for Albemarle. Jackson gets rid of it. Here's a 3-point shot from the wing. It's no good for Harris. Rebound comes to Miller. So the Stallions dodge a bullet there after a turnover.
I think it's a great, really good start here for both teams as we keep going here.
A lot of intensity to start here. Jackson, a little hesitation move with the attack, and he'll get to the free throw line. Cassidy Jackson, who made some clutch free throws in the game that, Ed, you got to watch on Friday night in the Class 5 state semifinals. A lot of people expected this to be a Woodside-Riverside matchup. Riverside was riding a 20-game winning streak. Albemarle beat them, and Woodside, the 2-time defending state champs, led by Stephon Welsh and anchored inside by the VCU recruited Silas Barksdale, got knocked.
Green Run prevailing.
That's correct. Green Run able to avenge its 2 losses this year. One was to Kellum in their second game of the season, beat him in a rematch, and also beating Woodside in the state semis as Jackson splits a pair of free throws. Jackson secures the board. 5-3 in favor of the Stallions as we approach 4.5 minutes to go in this opening period. Glad you're with us here on the NFHS Network alongside Tim Blank and Coach Ed Youngeye and Matt Hatfield. And Albemarle with the basketball looking to be patient here. Patriots put up more points per game than Green Run at 68, but the ball's loose, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow will stay here on the left side of the floor with Albemarle. Both teams almost identical in terms of defense. Green Run giving up 47.1 points per contest. Albemarle allowing 47.9. Of note, though, the Stallions are 21-0 when they hold the opposition under 60 points. Albemarle is 16-0 when they score above 65 points. Here's Harris going to the basket, and he'll draw a two-shot foul here as he gets to the hoop, and they'll call that one on Green Run. A little bit of a hit to the head there with Cash Jackson, and we've got a substitute on the floor, another one for Green Run, another sub coming in, and Dejan Burrell-Williams, a 5'11 junior guard forward, as the first free throw is going to be no good here for Harris. One more coming. He, by the way, not just a talented basketball player, Ed, but another one of those multi-sport athletes who was a first-team All-Jefferson District wide receiver.
Yeah, you're going to see in this ball game, bench will come into play too. I think Albemarle might have a little bit better of the bench, a little bit more depth than Green Run.
Claxton saves the possession. Here's a three for Raplin from the wing, no good, but the offensive rebound diving in there for the stick back at Xavion Carter for the deuce.
That's just pure tenacity right there. He was outsized pretty well, but getting that rebound and a good rotation pivot to get in there and get the bucket.
That evens the score as Jackson passes it out to Miller. Jackson dribbles away now towards the 10. He's going to get to the basket and draw another foul. And Greg Maynard and his crowd behind him wanted a traveling violation, but they won't get that. Instead, it'll be Cassidy Jackson back to the charity stripe.
2 fouls for both teams here. So a little past halfway here in the first quarter.
Looks like Tristan Smith will head to the scores table to check in, the 6'4 junior guard who has really stepped up defensively, second leading rebounder for this Albemarle team, Ed, that is 9 deep.
That's what I'm saying. They'll go to their bench without issue. Green Run, usually it's about 7, 6.5, that's it.
And Smith was a rebound shy of a double-double against Riverside with 11 points and 9 rebounds. Here's Jackson, his second attempt, going to be off the mark, tapped out by Ellison, but the rebound's going to be scooped up off the floor from Claxton. And Green Run clinging to a 1-point advantage. Little head fake move. Now here's Smith going down the lane. Contact there, but no foul call. Burrell-Williams comes away with it. Now we got Smith grabbing at his head. I'm surprised that was not a foul call. A lot of contact. They let go there on that with 3:32 to go in our opening period.
Yeah, you don't want to. I definitely don't want to see anybody get hurt. Nobody hitting their heads on the floor. I think he's just a little shook there, but I think he's going to be all right.
And they're going to let him get up under his own power here and walk it off. So Tristan Smith, one of 9 juniors on the roster for Greg Maynard and the Albemarle Patriots. Safe to say they could be in the hunt again next season. Green Run, only 4 seniors on its roster, 2 of them very, very important, and Miller and Jackson. Miller first-team All-State last year and Jackson second-team All-State.
Yeah, they'll have a whole lot more to replace than Albemarle with those 2 as seniors. The other ones don't play as much. Albemarle seniors do not start as senior, if I'm not mistaken.
And of note, Smith is going back towards the tunnel to be checked out on by the medical staff, the trainer for Albemarle. Here's a bounce pass from Ellison in the high post to Trey Miller. He gets to the basket and scores it off the glass. David Trey Miller with the hoop, and Green Run extends its lead to 3. Pass to midcourt. Raplin has it for a second, but it's stolen away by Cash Jackson, and they're going to call a foul as you see the tenacity. You talked about it earlier, Tim, with the offensive rebounds for Albemarle. Cash Jackson, he is as cool customer as you'll find at the point guard spot in Virginia High School basketball this year, as Ellison will get a breather and Hyman's come back in for him.
Just right now, Albemarle just seems that right now they're just not getting the clean passes at the moment here early on. I think that they're playing a little jittery at this point. They need to get themselves a little calmer to get themselves back into this one.
6'4 junior guard Isaac McLaughlin, Ratty wearing number 5, has come on for Albemarle. We'll tell you about what he did in his playoff run earlier in just a little bit. Here's a kick out from Jackson, penetrating kick to Burrell-Williams. His 3-pointers no good, and we have a whistle against Green Run with 2:54 to go in the first quarter. It's going to go against Jackson, and they don't want to see Jackson or Miller get in foul trouble whatsoever.
No, that would be a detriment to them extremely. Either one of the fellows get in foul trouble for them.
Full court pressure though as Monty Rudolph tries to get the steal, and he gets called for a bump, reaching in on Mekhi Ragland on that steal attempt. Earlier this playoff, guys, Albemarle was down with under 2 minutes to go in the region quarterfinals to 8th-seeded James River out of Chesterfield, and it was Isaac McLaughlin-Ratty with the go-ahead three-pointer with under 2 minutes to play in that one as they close on a 9-0 spurt to beat the Rapids in that ball game, 73-68. So they almost got taken out in the first round by a number 8 seed, and here they are. Here's Cash Jackson getting it back to the other end with a steal on that pass in traffic.
Green Run operated that time out of the 1-2-2.
Here's Rudolph for three. It got deflected partially by Ragland, who got back on defense, and McLaughlin-Ratty pulls it away, up ahead. Here's Ragland trying to power his way through to the basket, and he's going to not get the roll. Rebounded by Burrell Williams as the Patriots are missing a couple of good opportunities. Bounce pass in transition. Hyman's to Miller. Block shot by McLaughlin-Ratty. Here comes Albemarle on the run. It's going to be bumped from behind as Hyman's ran into Zevion Robinson, the 6'3 senior forward who's come in. So this is a lot of fast-paced action here in this first frame.
Again,
I wonder, was that the fifth foul on that one?
It is the 15th foul, I think so. Free throw time here for Albemarle, much to the dismay of Coach Kenneth Harris.
In high school, 5 fouls in a quarter constitutes two shot. A defensive foul, it's 2 shot. There's no more 7 fouls, 1-on-1, 10 fouls, 2 automatic 2-shot bonus. That changed last year.
So Robinson, one of just 3 seniors on the team for Albemarle, at the foul line to shoot a couple here, with Green Run getting Cash Jackson a rest on the bench next to his longtime assistant coach Rod Cooper. He's, by the way, the dad of former Stallions Jacob and Trey Cooper.
And probably the good news, here comes Claxton back out onto the floor right here for the Patriots.
And Tristan Smith. Green Run with the 5 of Gooden, Burrell Williams, Miller, Hymans, and Rudolph, and it's going to be Hymans getting that rebound. 2-point lead, a slim one for Green Run as Marginal and Jackson is back at the scores table to come back in. The big fella over 250 pounds who averages 13.4 points and 5.1 rebounds per contest. The lob for Miller is going to be deflected out of bounds. That a dangerous pass, Ed, that could have been a turnover for Green Run.
Right. Albemarle needs Jackson in there because he takes up a lot of room in there. He's tenacious on the glass. Changed their whole rebounding aspect here with him in the game.
Robinson is subbed out. So Gooden set to inbound it here, looking for Miller in the high post. Hyman's coming off that curl. Trey didn't see him. Miller passes it back out to Rudolph. Kicks it out to Gooden. Gooden behind the back with a dribble. Here's a step back 3 for Malik Gooden. Off the mark. Tipped, deflected a couple times, and Mekhi Ragland comes with the rebound. He's going to tightrope the sideline. Get towards the middle of the court. Kicks it out to Harris. Spotting up for 3 is McLaughlin-Ratty, but the attack move is no good. However, the tip-in is good for Isaiah Harris, and we're deadlocked at 8 apiece. Back come the Stallions. Hymans has it.
Green Run got to be quite careful on their shot selection.
Here's Hymans for 3. That one doesn't rattle home. Rebound by Jackson. Stallions a little quick trigger on these 3-point attempts here in this first quarter. Between the legs of the dribble, here's Isaiah Harris. Using the left hand, Burrell Williams picks him up. Over to Ragland now. Ragland sizing up the smaller defender and Gooden. Little behind the back move to Jackson, who misses it off balance. Rebounded by Gooden. We put under a minute to go in this fast-moving first quarter. Hymans for 3 in the corner. It's no good. Deflected out by Williams over to Rudolph. Opposite corner 3, and that one's going to be switched home for Monte Rudolph. His 20th make from long distance on the year. He's got 45 trays the last 2 seasons, and Green Run breaks the tie.
They need to hit one of those threes there. They're shooting up a lot of threes, and they're not getting the offensive rebound.
Hey, just right now, and now you look inside there.
Jackson is rejected by Williams, but it comes out to Ragland. Little crossover move, and he's blocked again by Burrell Williams. Albemarle keeps possession, however, and Greg Maynard trying to holler to get his team's attention, but they're not hearing him because it's loud in the Siegel Center. And Green Run's getting fired up behind its crowd and its bench defensively. 10 ticks to go in the first quarter. McLaughlin-Ratty's got nowhere to go. Over to Harris. Harris looks to attack against Gooden, and he's going to get called for a traveling violation.
It's a bad break right there for the Patriots.
It feels like Coach Young, Green Run can speed the Patriots up in the half court or in full court.
Yeah, it looks like Albemarle has the athletes to get up and down, but they're a little bit more ball control. They're a little bit more than 3 or 4 pass offense, and the Green Run doesn't want you to play that way. It's
rolled into Gooden. Can he beat the horn here? He'll look to attack. 2 seconds. An off-balance 3. Might have got partially blocked by Harris. perhaps trying to pick up a foul call. He won't do that. However, Green Run will take a 3-point lead to the second period. It's Green Run 11, Albemarle 8 in the VHSL Class 5 state championship from the Siegel Center in Richmond on the NFHS network.
It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
Got ourselves a good one here in the VHSL Class 5 State Basketball Championship. It's Green Run 17, Albemarle 14. These two teams had tricky roads to get here. Green Run having to knock out Maury in the state quarterfinals, two-time defending state champ Woodside in the semifinals, while Albemarle took care of business against Riverbend in the regional, state quarterfinals, and then Riverside was riding a 20-game winning streak in the state semis. Patriots have the basketball right now behind Isaiah Harris over to Makai Ragland, who's been off to a nice start. Burrell Williams coming off the bench, picking him up, and look at the defense Burrell Williams is playing on Makai Ragland, who's trying to be slippery, and he draws a bump with 4:31 to go in the first half. Quite a good individual one-on-one matchup so far in this first half, but you feel like the one-on-one style of game would favor Green Run, except the foul issues are starting to pile up for Kenneth Harris and his group from Virginia Beach.
Albemarle's got some length. Their players, they've got length on them. A little bit taller than some of the matchups they have with Green Run, but Green Run has the quickness on them.
Jackson off balance. That one's going to stay with the Patriots. Jackson has not gotten going for Albemarle. You figure if they can get him closer to the bucket, that bodes well for them.
Yeah, I got to play big fella down and low, elbow, foul line in. He's really strong. I know they can shoot the outside shot, but again, the way basketball's played lately at all levels, everybody wants to shoot threes.
Rudolph, who comes in for Burrell Williams, he's the one that getting that lead at the end of the first quarter. Missed jumper from Jackson straight on. It's going to be a jump ball as Hyman's gets over there to tie up the Patriots, but it will remain with Albemarle because the arrow's in their favor.
I think the Patriots lucked out on that one, because to me it looked like that was not that from this angle. It did not look like that it got completely tied up right there.
Gooden will be subbed out, and Cash Jackson coming in for him. Really surprised, Ed. You've watched Green Run a lot over the year. Kenneth Harris using his bench a lot more for offense, defense subbing in this first half than typically.
Yeah, he doesn't go deep in his bench, but when he does it, he has a rhyme and reason to it. The last time out I watched, he was really emphasizing box out or getting beat on the boards.
Look at Isaiah Harris going off the dribble for two as he gets to the hoop. 17-16 now as the Stallions' lead is shrinking down to one. Jackson is back to operate their attack. He averages 15.7 points and 4.5 assists per game. Straight on three for Trey Miller. Doesn't get enough lift on it. It's going to be short and rebounded by Claxton as the Patriots can go in front.
Not a true air ball there. It grazed the front side of the rim, but the Albemarle fans just let him have it anyway.
Carter bounces it over to Claxton. Pull-up jumper. It's short as well. It's going to be bobbled a couple of different times before Cash Jackson gets there, and he got fouled. And Albemarle picking up that personal.
Big thing bouncing around like a pinball out there.
Both teams getting used to the background here at the Siegel Center, shooting it.
Yeah, obviously when you're in these college gyms with the large seating behind the basket, it almost looks like the rim is smaller, but it is the same size rim as every gym in the country, whether it's high school or college or pro. They're all the same.
Jackson
19.
now looking to get Green Run going offensively. Gets it back from Miller. The two 1,000-point scores for the Stallions. Jackson will try a three after the physical screen is set. It's off the side of the rim. Rebounded by Smith inside, and Albemarle will live with that shot all day.
Yeah, they're making Green Run think on the offensive end and getting one and done.
And Ragland will get bumped by the other number two, that being Ellison of Green Run with 3 minutes even on the clock. His first personal, team third.
You know, I'm watching Green Run. Some of these guys are sucking wind already. It's only the middle of the second quarter. That 10 feet extra feet on the court means difference to these kids, especially when you run up and down.
Harris tried to get to Claxton in the corner for a three-point opportunity, and it was a turnover. So some wasted trips on both ends.
Yeah, just the consistency just isn't there just yet, I think, for both of these schools. But I think that Albemarle is just doing exactly what they need to do, just keeping right on them, not letting Green Run get too far ahead of them.
Hyman's over to Rudolph. Miller trying to catch it down low. Hyman's gets it over to Cash Jackson. Spin move by Jackson to the rack, and he's going to draw a couple of free throws on that attempt. Cash Jackson has that spin move. There's been a lot of great point guards we've watched in Tidewater this year, Ed, with Messiah Wells-Stevens from Woodside going to Radford, Adrian Newton from Maury, and Cash Jackson. He's right there at the top of the list the way he's performed all year long.
Does a great job at drawing. What he's doing in this game is what he's done all year. Drawing fouls, calculating on the offensive end. He gets people involved. What he's good at is playmaking early in the games, and then watch what happens in the fourth quarter. He takes over.
Being subbed out was Asarian Claxton for Albemarle. He's a little bit discouraged as Coach Maynard makes another change, and Jackson hits the second free throw. Smith set to get into Harris. McLaughlin, Ratty, Claxton, and Jackson joining them. They get it past the trap. Here's Ragland going right to the rack. Can't get his layup attempt. The tip, no good for Jackson. It's going to be bobbled again, and Jackson comes away with it for Green Run. Numbers for the Stallions if they want it. In the corner, Rudolph for three, and he doesn't get that one to fall. Rebound by Smith. Almost lost the handle, and one and done for Green Run on that trip. 3-point lead. Albemarle staying connected to the Stallions here, as neither team has been able to separate yet. Kevin Willie Jr. set to come in for the Stallions. Three from straight away, no good for Harris. Bobbled again, and Harris has got it. We mentioned Kevin Willie Jr. at the scores table. His dad was a heck of a running back in the day, and how about that feed? But Miller can't get the layup. Jackson found him. Here's Isaiah Harris on the bounce, and it's going to be a block from Ellison on Ragland. Both teams still struggling on the offensive end, but we've got action with the defense. Jackson to Ellison, down low, power dribble. He scores it off the window for two, and Greg Maynard calls for a timeout.
Saw that coming. Once again, up and down, and you don't deliver, you start getting a little bit more heavy leg. That's a great timeout by Albemarle.
Well, that was what one of our keys was. Transition defense for Albemarle, as well as staying balanced and bench support. For Green Run, we touched on defending the paint, finding that third option, which they've kind of gotten by committee with Ellison, Hymans, Rudolph, a bunch of different guys, and free throws, which so far, Cash Jackson's getting the line, but Albemarle's getting the line more. It's a 5-point lead. These last 96 seconds can really set the tone, guys, for the rest of the ballgame.
No two ways on that one. And Green Run, again, just right there. We saw it in those runs up and back, just really taking advantage of what they've got on their squad. Albemarle, they got to start finishing some of their trips to the bucket. They're getting good looks, but right now it's just not falling for them.
Well, if you're gonna take a lot of shots, you're a high volume shooting team. You got to knock them down, because if you're not getting rebounds, you're going to run back on defense all the time.
With the 5'9" freshman Kevin Willie Jr. on the court, it makes me feel old, because I remember covering his dad when he played for Salem High 20 plus years ago.
Well, how about Zero? What's the young fellow named Zero?
Hymans.
His dad, O.J. Hyman, tremendous football player in his day also.
The steal for Ellison, and here's Whaley at the controls. His dad was nicknamed Zeus. He goes by KJ, and he's got some pizzazz in his game as just a ninth grader. He's going to be picked up by Harris, who's a heck of a football player in his own right for Albemarle. Gets it over to Ellison. 1:06 to go in the half. Up top to Miller. I think Hymans was waiting for that one. He kind of jumped in front of the pass. Here's a three from Ellison. No good, and it's going to go the other way. Another forced three-point attempt for Green Run, which Albemarle's defense is baiting them into a lot of shots from distance.
Right. The three-pointer is not the issue if you get it in rhythm with your offense as part of your set. When you just look around and all of a sudden decide, I'm going to shoot this three, and nobody really knows you're doing it, no rebound.
I believe that's number 3 on Jackson as he goes to the bench. Cash Jackson it is for Green Run. Kevin Whaley Jr. picking up Isaiah Harris full court. McLaughlin Ratty's got to make a decision here. Hymans swipes it from him. There's Julius Hymans with the steal. He'll pull up with a deep shot. It's short. A lot of these youngsters, as you've talked about, Ed, year and year after year, they're looking at those three-point lines, the black line and the white line, getting confused, and Hymans did just that. It's going to be a kick off the leg of Claxton, who was thinking breakaway dunk, but he ended up kicking it.
And unfortunately, we're not playing indoor soccer here at the Siegel Center, so you're not getting away with that one.
Kicks will not be allowed here. You can get your kicks, but not in this.
So some more offense-defense subbing as Ellison goes to the bench. Gooden, Whaley, Miller, and Ellison, Miller and Hymans are out there with Cash Jackson now operating at the point guard position. And it looks like Green Run's going to try to hold for one shot with a 5-point lead. If they can go up 7 or 8, given the missed opportunities they've had earlier in the half, they have to feel a lot better This is a crucial possession defensively for Albemarle to try to get a stop and keep this a 2-possession game going to the half.
Yeah, and they're going into a half-court trap. Albemarle is speed up, green run.
Jackson able to split it for a moment. Now the trap comes back with Smith. He hits the ground. Jackson looks to attack. Almost got the and one, as that was dangerous for Albemarle. And Greg Maynard, along with his son Drew, an assistant on the coaching staff for Albemarle. You've talked about it before. It's the first family of basketball. They're both wanting a call, an offensive foul. They won't get it here with 2.9 seconds to go in the half as they give official Scott Shoemate an earful.
Yeah, we talked about the Maynards.
Although the Stiffs, Tim, would argue with Ed's point, they might be the first family of basketball. You have the Stiffs, you have the Maynards. Bottom line is you have a lot of successful families in the state.
No, when it comes to coaching, I'm telling you right now, it's the Maynards. All right. But they got 19 coaches all over the place.
So the Stiffs could be the first players of basketball, right? The family.
There you go. You could.
Brandon, BJ, Bryant.
You could say that.
2 ticks to go. The missed free throw. Fall away three for good. Will hit the side of the basket. And Green Run will take a 6-point lead to the locker room. It's 22-16 in favor of the Stallions against the Region 5C champion Albemarle Patriots in this VHSL Class 5 championship tilt from the Siegel Center in Richmond. Buckle up. Should be a fun finish here in game number 2 of 12 of our state championship coverage all weekend long on the NFHS network. We'll step aside and come back with more in just a bit. You're watching exclusive coverage of VHSL. And we're back here at the half. Green Run leading Albemarle 22-16 in the 2025 VHSL Class 5 Boys Basketball State Championship from the Stuart C. Siegel Center on the campus of Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond. Matt Hatfield here with you alongside my pals Tim Blank and Coach Ed Young here. As guys, we look at the first half statistics as Tim fires it up for us here. Ed, the thing that jumps out at us, the poor shooting for both sides, a combined 1 for 21 from distance, but each has gotten some contributions from its bench players like Dejon Williams, a sub for Green Run, and Isaac McLaughlin Rowdy for Albemarle, each with 2 blocks off the bench in this game. But in terms of glossy individual numbers or stats, nothing too fancy so far.
No, it's disappointing when you look at shooting because both teams can score the basketball. But right now you're looking at Green Run, even though they have a lead, shooting 28%. Albemarle shooting 26, three-point line. Oh, my Lord. Green Run, 1 for 16. They just keep firing them up. And Albemarle is 0 for 5, which is not indicative of how good they are three-point shooters. So now, okay, we miss a lot of shots. What does that mean? A lot of rebounds. How's the rebounds go? It's still Albemarle 25-22. That Green Run did a better job in the second quarter of rebounding, but really not much has changed.
The one factor, Tim, here that I look at for Green Run is Cassidy Jackson. He's 5 of 8 from the free throw line, and that's the guy that Albemarle has to keep out of the paint in crunch time because time and time again this year against a lot of quality opponents, be it Hampton, Lansdowne, Oscar Smith, fill in the blank, Woodside in the most recent round, he's been able to rise to the occasion, though the Patriots will have to do it with a collective effort because they don't have really one guy that can be the cash stopper, if you will.
No, they don't. And you even just looking at them right now, again, we're just looking for someone to start to this really feels like that we're kind of in a position where one of these players is about to just really just kind of fire things up. I really think that that's where we're at right now with these two teams. Once one of these teams starts to figure things out and the ball starts to drop, I think you're going to start seeing the points come in bunches.
Well, and to your point, Tim, I think we got to see Cassidy Jackson scoring some field goals instead of free throw line. He's doing a great job. He's the difference in the game in terms of getting to the free throw line with 5 points. It's a 6-point game. And then when we look at Albemarle, Ragland on Harris, I think can really get him going. And again, Jalen Jackson, if he stays in the ball game, he's going to be a key. Now, that also go back to Green Run. Trey Miller, who's had a tremendous season, he's 2 of 5 from the floor. He has 2 rebounds. Okay? That's not him. Normally, halftime in most of these type of games, he's doing a lot better than that.
Both big guys, Miller for Green Run and Jackson for Albemarle. Miller for Green Run is 6'5". Jackson for Albemarle is 6'6", 250-plus pounds. They've kind of canceled each other out by their own doing. Miller hasn't hit the offensive glass like he's known for coming into this game. 84 offensive rebounds on the year, and he's only got 1 in the first half. And Jackson's been settling for jumpers, not trying to do it in the paint.
Exactly, and I keep saying, get that fella inside because it makes Miller have to play more body-on-body defense, which means you can get those fouls much easier. I think if Jackson, he's not real. I thought he had a couple fouls. He really, not seeing the sheet, he only has one foul.
Well, one correction I said late in the second quarter that Jackson for Green Run had three. He has two technically. Two for him and two for Dejon Williams. Official stats have Tristan Smith with 3 for Albemarle and 2 on Xavier Carter. So that's the foul watch for each team.
Yeah, I thought one of those fouls on Carter was Jackson, but it wasn't Carter, so I'm not keeping the stats. I'm just reading them.
Stick around. We've got more state championship coverage coming your way. The Princess Anne girls were victorious earlier today. If you missed it, you can go back and watch that game as Darnell Dozier's team captured a 15th state championship with a 70-28 triumph over the William Fleming Colonels. We have the Class 2 girls and boys games coming up, Tim, later on. The John Marshall boys at 24-2 taking on the Graham G-men at 21-4 in our 8 o'clock nightcap. But before that, at 6 o'clock, it'll be the Central Wise girls led by Robin Dotson with a record of 26-3 taking on John Marshall, who is 14-9 as Robin Dotson goes for career win number 770. Amazing we have these coaches with 700-plus wins all over the place.
And, guys, I hate to bring the mood down right here, but we just got breaking news that just came across. We have just lost a titan of college basketball coverage. John Feinstein, unfortunately, has passed away.
That's tough. That's a tough one.
That's really a tough one.
Great writer,
tremendous writer, great basketball mind.
Yes,
especially for him to pass away at this time of year. That especially hits hard. And I'm sorry to bring the mood down with that, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
Not that these people died, but we got to say hello to two people that are not here, who normally are running the show here for us.
That's true.
We got to say hello.
Andy Hayes and Helene Shane out there. No question about it.
Now they haven't passed, but they're not here for various reasons, and we're trying to hold the ship for them. But we miss you guys. If you're listening, we miss you. Helene, I miss you because I always want to say we're going into overtime and get that look on your face. Andy, I just want to keep talking. Andy says, does he ever shut up?
Well, and again, to echo that, we do miss them, and thoughts and prayers to the Feinstein family. He's one of the best that's covered the sport. And Green Run has the basketball to start this third quarter, a 6-point lead against Albemarle, 22-16. Bounce pass in the high post top of the key area to Trey Miller, who hands it off to Malik Gooden. He's being covered by Azarian Claxton. Stops in a low block. He's doubled up. Tries to bounce it to Trey Miller, who goes to the floor, avoids a tie-up. Here's Ellison, who has it poked away by Isaiah Harris, who dives to the floor to get it. And now Albemarle gets a steal to begin this third quarter. It's their third of the game. Attacking the basket. It's going to be a runner for Isaiah Harris, the multi-sports standout, bringing the Patriots from Charlottesville within 4. He can do some wondrous things when he gets in the lane.
He had 4 points in the first half. Look for him to turn it up in the second half.
Cash Jackson stops, tries to bump into the body of Ragland. No good. Rebounded by Mackay. Albemarle coming out of the second half, charged up here. They get into Elijah Ellison and 2 free throws with 6:52 to go in the period.
I mean, this is exactly what we said that Albemarle needed to do coming out of the break, and this is if you're Coach Maynard, you gotta like the start thus far here. You just got to keep it up.
They've been down before and responded. That region quarterfinal game against James River we referenced, trailing with 2 minutes to go, and Green Run was on the brink against Woodside, trailing by 5 in the second half. Here's Ragland hitting the first of 2 free throws, 13.4 points per game for a sophomore who's one of the more intriguing prospects we've seen in that class of 2027 so far in playoff action.
Young fella needs to put just some more meat on them bones. He has the acronym of a senior when he's out there playing. It doesn't look like no sophomore. So I would say keep an eye on this dude for the next couple of years. He's got it.
Trey Miller gets the rebound. Cash Jackson trying to get the screen on Robinson. Trey Miller stops at the foul line. Gets it back. Nice give and go action, but he can't finish the layup, and it's rebounded by Marshall and Jackson of Albemarle. He's missed a couple of bunnies that he usually gets to go down. There's a 3-pointer from Ragland. Chance to tie it. It won't go. It's tapped that, deflected. It's going to be saved out of bounds to Albemarle.
You love the effort right there. That was great. That was a tremendous bit of effort there from Claxton to get that ball back for him.
Patriots hanging tough here. Their defense has really zeroed in on both Miller and Jackson of Green Run. Inbound to Isaiah Harris, who gets it and then loses it to Malik Gooden. Here's a 3-on-2 chance in transition. Gooden with the layup, no good. And it'll be Hyman's pulling it away. And that's a golden opportunity for Green Run. You've got to take advantage of those because now you have to inbound the basketball. And those are precious in a game like this. It's a slower scoring, battle that could come down to 1 or 2 possessions at the end.
Yeah, good hands by good steal, but he couldn't finish. Going in a little bit too fast. I wish kids would just jump stop, then shoot the layup.
Here's Jackson trying to get by Carter. It's going to be a steal for Albemarle with Claxton, 6'4" forward, who also plays some football for Albemarle.
Jackson getting his mitts in there in the passing lanes.
Ragland likes to use the crossover, and he's going to get called for traveling. He's trying to be too fancy right now. He's got some of those moves, but at this point, maybe too much is too much. Stay simple and basic.
Stay within the framework of the offense.
The fans here, the players hear the oohs and ahs of the crowd, and they want to put on a show in front of this Siegel Center crowd. Cash Jackson kicks it out to Elijah Ellison up top. Trey Miller, spin move on Marshall and Jackson. Coming over to block it is Ragland, but he's going to be called for the foul. And 2 free throws coming for David Trey Miller with 5:27 to go in the third period. 58.6% on the year from the foul line, 68 of 116 coming in. He shoots 52.8% from the field, which is pretty darn good for a front court player.
He's got good shooting touch. He just hasn't had the opportunity much today to put him up. He's had his 2 layups that he made earlier in the game were 1 off offensive rebound, 1 off a offensive set.
So here's Miller at the line for the Stallions. And the first free throw is good. Second foul shot for the guy they call Big Trey for Green Mountain is good. 24-19.
Surprisingly being under-recruited.
He was getting some Division I attention. The Youngstown States, the Ohios, the Norfolk States were sniffing around early in his career. It's mostly been Division II, Division III stuff in the last year plus. Good find, but another missed layup inside. Albemarle stays with it, though, and that one's going to be good on the follow. Credit to Zevion Robinson as they pull it back down to 3.
That's what you want right there, just that never give up attitude right there. If you can get that ball back, get it in.
Miller reverses it to Hymans for 3. That's a big make with 4:57 to go in the third quarter. Julius Hymans, who came in with 36 threes this year. He made 32 a year ago, stretching the lead out to 6. Can Albemarle answer? Corner 3 ball. It's going to be an air ball, but there's Ragland to
That's a pass.
Put it in for 2. You give him the assist, not the field goal attempt?
Yeah, I'd give him the
if
assist.
If it doesn't
right
hit
there.
the rim,
Absolutely.
it's an assist.
There you go.
It looked like a shot. It looked like one of Hatfield's shot. They called him air ball in high school.
Oh, the foul underneath.
And a couple of free throws coming with 4.5 minutes to go in his third quarter, where it's been so low scoring. I was wondering if it'd be the first to 40 to prevail in this one, maybe first to 50. And Albemarle picking up a foul here. We unfortunately don't have the luxury on I'm so used to looking up on each end zone side here, Tim, to see what individual fouls are. We don't have that right now.
Unfortunately, we do not.
So here's Miller at the line for Green Run. And the free throw is no good. Smith is coming in for Albemarle. He had 3 fouls in the first half. He'll relieve Xavion Carter. Coach Maynard using that with his bench, a little bit of the yo-yo with Xavion Carter, Zevion Robinson, and some others. Miller splits the 2 free throws.
Fresh legs, keep fresh legs in a situation like this. A lot of energy by both teams. They are getting up and down. It's just we're not seeing a whole lot of production on all of those trips.
That could be a win in terms of a sequence for Albemarle if they score at this end of the court with a 2 or a 3. They trail it by 4. Losing the handle, it's going to be Ragland. There's Gooden trying to get the steal, and it's going to stay with Albemarle. You know, Malik Gooden, his hustle, you mentioned earlier, Ed, he's made some plays defensively, had that put back against Woodside late on Friday, but it's going to be up to some of those guys around Jackson and Miller, specifically the 3 on the court right now with Gooden, Hymans, and Rudolph to have good shot selection. And Albemarle will sub out Ragland now with McLaughlin, Ratty, Harris, Claxton, Robinson, and Smith on the court. They get it into Harris. We hit 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Stolen away by Gooden as he picks the pocket of Harris. He'll pull it back out wisely. Trey Miller trying to set up in the post. It's going to be deflected and stolen away. Another giveaway by Green Run's offense when they had a break opportunity. Here's a corner three from McLaughlin Ratty. It's a little long, and Cash Jackson skies for the offensive rebound. Stallions on the move. Cash Jackson kicks it out to Rudolph. They swing it in the corner. Good for three. Might have got deflected partially by McLaughlin Ratty, and Isaiah Harris pulls away the rebound.
If not deflected, he definitely affected that shot.
Certainly challenged it, no doubt about it. Now here's an attack moving, a layup, getting right to the hoop with the roll. Zevion Robinson, and Green Run's lead is chopped down to 2 at 27-25.
Good action back and forth. I was watching Coach Harris. He went to pull his hair out. He's got none left up there to pull out on that three-shot attempt.
Look
Here's
out.
a deflection and a potential steal as we thought Tristan Smith was going to land in the lap of Ed Young, Tim.
Now,
He would have had a soft landing, thankfully,
I
but
saw him coming. I had that ball. I got a little bit of hand action on it.
Now listen, when Ed wore his red suit when he coached at Nans River, he would always say that was Santa Claus. So he thought you was daddy. He was going to tell you what he wanted for Christmas in your lap there.
Yeah, that went over like a lead balloon.
Yeah, Tim thought it was good. Bounced in with Rudolph to Jackson. Oh, don't worry, he'll get me later. Trust me.
I'm sure he will.
I'm going to get that later.
I'm sure he will.
Trey Miller, what does he want for Christmas? He wants a state championship ring as he goes off the glass for 2. Well, Christmas is still 9 months away. St. Patty's Day just a couple days away. Green Run.
Either that or an Easter gift.
There you go, 4-point lead. They got to get it over the timeline. They do. They find Azarion Claxton. Straightaway jumper for Marjolin Jackson. It's no good. That was a good look, but Cash Jackson gets the rebound, and Green Run dodged the bullet.
Green Run went into that zone, full court pressure, which kind of unnerved.
Here's a steal. Claxton read it. Can Hyman's chase him down? No, he can't. Layup is good off the glass for 2, and the Stallions lead is just 2 at 29-27. Miller catches it down low. Underneath, can't get the finish, but he's fouled going up, and a couple of free throws coming with 2:20 to go in the third. That time Cash Jackson maybe forced the bidding. Albemarle made them pay.
You know what? I don't think, it is going to be 2 free throws.
But there was a whole lot going on there with not a whole lot being accomplished other than to steal the layup for Albemarle. But again, both teams, it looks like in this third quarter, shedding some of the rust we saw in the first half, or the sleepy-eyes in the first half, that they are opening it up and going at it back and forth to try to create maybe a little bit more inside instead of shooting the threes.
Cash Jackson set to inbound it for the Stallions. They get it to Hymans. Behind the three-point line, he's being checked by Isaiah Harris. Hand off to Monte Rudolph. His floater didn't get enough arc on it. Ball's loose. Look at the hustle from Smith for Albemarle. Up ahead to Claxton. Here comes Albemarle. For the lead, a 3 from McLaughlin Ratty. It's short. Marjolin Jackson gets the rebound as he bowls over Cash Jackson, and we're tied up at 29 as the Patriots are getting energized behind this crowd that came to Richmond from Charlottesville.
And it's getting real loud in this thing. I almost feel like at the Rams, it's probably the loudest it would be with a team called the Patriots playing.
Miller gets called for steps, traveling along the baseline, and Albemarle's got some momentum. Will Green Run use a timeout to try to break it here with 1:42 to go in the third quarter? Patriots get into Isaiah Harris.
He needs help.
Up ahead to McLaughlin Ratty into the front court. Here's Marjolin Jackson. Jackson working on Trey Miller. The runner's good, and Albemarle takes the lead with 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. The big fella, Marjolin Jackson. Cash Jackson trying to get the Stallions to respond. Over to Ellison. Chance of defense. Jackson sizing up Smith. Over to Trey Miller. They look to attack. He gets by Marjolin Jackson. His layup is no good. Comes out to Isaiah Harris. 2-on-1 break. Harris stops. Layup. No good. Rebound comes to Rudolph. That was a golden opportunity for Albemarle to get their largest lead of the day.
And on a 2-on-1, too, you hate to miss it like that.
Cash Jackson with 48 ticks to go in the quarter. Cash Jackson attacks. Off the backboard. No good. Ellison with the rebound against the big body in Jackson, and he'll draw a foul with 41.8 seconds to go in the third period.
Albemarle, fellas, 15 points in this quarter, and it's not even over yet. And they only had 16 in the whole first half. So, once again, they've opened up that offense, and it's really picked up the defense, getting some steals, getting some rebounds on runouts, trying to get to the basket quickly for layups.
Well, they averaged 68 points per game, but remember, this is a Green Run team that held Woodside to just 11 after a halftime on Friday night, and Smith is in some pain. He has been given everything in his body. Looks like he's just...
Don't know if he took a hit in the chest or he's just winded from getting up. It's been a heck of a pace in this third quarter, by far.
I mean, he's holding his side right there. I think he may have gotten hit at some point.
And Isaiah Harris also subbed out. Here's Ellison, free throw, no good.
Boy.
Stallions on the year from the free throw line, under 60%. And we talked about that being a key. They were 6 of 15 in the loss to Kellum, 13 of 29 in the loss to Woodside. They later avenged those losses. Second one is good. Inbound to Carter. Can the Patriots hold for the last shot? A lot of time to do that, though. In the corner, here's a three ball.
Answered your question real quick.
No good by Sims. They probably should have, because Green Run can get the last shot of the quarter. Here's Ellison. He's doubled up. Over to Hymans. He doesn't pull the trigger. Almost got away with a travel there.
He bobbled the ball there. That was the difference.
Now low to Miller against the 6'1 Sims. He's got the height advantage. It's blocked by Ragland, but a foul is called. And that's a mismatch all day with the 6'1 Sims here. And Albemarle brought some help side. It was late with 16.9 seconds to go. But that's recognition there for Albemarle, Ed. You got to have someone with a bigger body. No Jackson getting a rest. Certainly Ragland's the longer body, but that's where Green Run saw the mismatch. They went to their big fella inside. He's got 2 free throws.
If you put a smaller man on him, obviously it's a mismatch. You've got to bring that weak side help over, which they did with McLaughlin came over, who's the tallest Albemarle player on the floor right now, along with Ragland, to try to shut down Miller.
Miller from the stripe. First one rattles home, and we're tied.
More substitutions.
Remember, just 2 years ago, we had a thrilling finish with Woodside beating Patrick Henry Roanoke, erasing a double-digit deficit on Christian Greenlaw's basket at the buzzer. Well, we have some spine-tingling drama today at the Siegel Center. Tell you what, it looked like Ragland moved before Miller missed that free throw. They could have been a violation, but the officials did not catch it.
Yeah, might have missed it. Players on the line can leave as soon as the foul shot leaves the shooter's hand.
But I think that was before it got out of his hands. We'd love to see a replay. Stolen away almost, but here's a three at the buzzer, and it's no good for Albemarle, and we're deadlocked, 31 apiece. Will extra fun be required? Will 32 minutes be enough to determine who's the 2024-2025 VHSL Class 5 state champion? Well, come on back and find out on the NFHS Network. And we're back here at the Siegel Center in Richmond on the campus of VCU. Albemarle 31, Green Run 31. Somebody's win streak will end at 11. Somebody's season will end with the state championship and a 12-game winning streak. We've got 8 more minutes to decide it. At least 8 more minutes, perhaps more, as this has been an evenly matched seesaw affair. Albemarle nudged ahead late in the third quarter, but it'll be a tie game to start this fourth quarter, and the Patriots have the basketball inbounding in front of us with Xavier Carter. They get it in. Here's Isaiah Harris. Isaiah Harris with the right hand against Cash Jackson. High off the window. No good. It's bobbled by Hymans, and Cash Jackson gets it. And then there's a jump ball. Possession arrow to Green Run with 7:49 to go in our third quarter.
The one thing you may wonder about that, but, Albemarle getting that possession arrow back that fast, that could be key as we continue along here in the fourth.
Who feels better about the struggles from deep, Ed? Green Run's 2 of 18 from long distance, tied up. Albemarle's 0 for 12 from deep. It's tied up.
Well, they got the lead because they were hitting layups. It said that halftime. If you're not shooting well from the field, then you got to get inside to get your points.
Well, we got a foul away from the ball.
We'll keep a count here with 7:30 to go in the fourth quarter. That's Carter's 4th.
Smith is coming back into the game now here for the Patriots.
Malik Gooden at the controls to Cash Jackson, play more off the ball now. Trey Miller's doubled up. His pass is high and above the head of Ellison. Turnover for Green Run. That's their 9th of the day.
Executed great slice cut. We call that off that upside pick. Just overthrew him on the. He had a layup. He just overthrew him.
Can Albemarle break the tie right here? There's Tristan Smith being hounded by Hyman's. Makai Ragland. Screen set by Marjolin Jackson. Ragland playing the dribble. Almost got stripped by Cash Jackson in the corner to Azarion Claxton. Bounce to Marjolin Jackson. It was poked away by Trey Miller. Almost got it to go off the leg. It will stay with the Patriots with 6:56 to go. Cash Jackson yet to get a field goal in this game.
That's amazing. As much as I've seen him play this year, that's amazing.
Marjolin Jackson's got his 5th of the day, and he's up to 11 points. Albemarle takes a 2-point lead. Jackson bounces it over to Malik Gooden. Ellison over to Cash. Smith is on him. He looks extremely tired, does Smith, behind the back with the dribble. Cash tries to spin on him. Look at the defense that Smith is playing on Cash Jackson.
Well, he's all arms and legs. He's much taller than Jackson, and it's giving him a problem. Now I think he got whistled for the foul.
And if that's on Smith, that is going to be his 3rd. It's the team's 2nd foul here. Remember, 5 fouls means free throws. 5 in the quarter. Jackson over to Trey Miller. Ball's loose, stolen away by Isaiah Harris, and it's going to go against Green Run here with 6:16 to go.
Pass just wasn't on target right there. If he's able to get that one on target, that's an easy bucket for the Stallions.
Once again, off that cut, Tim, exactly. They're just miss-passing it, throwing a little bit behind or a little bit too forward.
That's Miller's 1st foul. Will Green Run dial up more pressing and trapping? Albemarle staying very deliberate. Isaiah Harris handling the rock over to Marjolin Jackson. He got called for steps, traveling violation on the big fella.
Just one too many right there. He had the right idea. You need to be absolute at this stage of the game. You can't hesitate because the refs are not going to let that one go.
No, that was easy to get. He was a little bit too quick to get in for a layup. He had a layup. He just did the old 2-step. Can't do that in basketball.
Cash Jackson over to Trey Miller. Green Run trailing by 2. A score almost identical to their state semi with Woodside. Trey Miller working on Marjolin Jackson, turning back down against the big frame. Over to Hyman's. They cannot get much offensive flow going here. Not a lot of player movement away from the basketball. Jackson at the foul line. Now there's more movement as Hyman's relocates to the corner. Against Smith, Cash Jackson gets to the basket and scores at his first field goal of the game with 5:27 to go as he's up to 7.
Now you got the full court pressure being dialed up right here for Green Run.
33 off the half-court line.
That's always dangerous when you stop right there.
Makai Ragland loses the handle. Stolen away by Cash Jackson. Here he comes on the move. His 3rd swipe of the day, and now another whistle, another costly, unnecessary foul on the Patriots. This one's going to go against Harris.
3rd foul, and we're not even 3 minutes into the 4th quarter here.
Yeah, that talking about football, that was a great hit. It would have been on a gridiron.
We'll see.
Nothing malicious. It was just a hard foul.
We'll see Ragland sub out and Ellison sub out for Green Run. Rudolph comes in for the Stallions, and it looks like McLaughlin Rowney joins Smith, Jackson, Harris, and Claxton for the Patriots. We're deadlocked at 33. Glad you're with us on the NFHS Network. With Tim Blank and Ed Young on Matt Hatfield. Here's Julius Hyman's in the corner. Monte Rudolph for 3 to break the tie, and he does just that. Monte Rudolph with a huge triple.
Big shot right there for Rudolph. Stallions now, feels like they've recaptured the momentum that they lost in the 3rd quarter.
Here's Smith. A lot of time, though, with 4+ minutes to go. Stomping and chance of defense. Floater won't go for Claxton, but there's a whistle underneath, and it's going to go against Green Run. Cash Jackson and his teammates can't believe it.
And Claxton, you couldn't have dialed that up any better. Perfect setup for the runner, just doesn't fall through.
That's Cash Jackson's 3rd personal, the team's 2nd. Here's McLaughlin Rowdy set to inbound it. Does Albemarle go for a 3? Ooh, Gooden almost bumped into Harris to get a cheap foul there. Smith, who's been so instrumental on defense
today.
Tell you what, my X Factors guys in this game, Tristan Smith, who got knocked out of the game early. His defense on Cash Jackson and Monte Rudolph with 2 enormous threes in a game that has been devoid of outside shooting.
I'm getting the three-pointers, you're right.
Ball's loose. There's a steal. Good, knocked it away. Jackson 2-on-1. Does he give it up? He'll go in, and it's going to be loose. And that's a turnover or touch last by Albemarle. They'll say last touch by Albemarle. The Patriots say otherwise. Now, will this be changed? I think they're changing the call. It's going to be Albemarle basketball.
That's a good call. That was a good call.
That's the 11th turnover of the day on Green Run. And that was a big one because they had a 2-on-1 break, and Cash should have probably gotten rid of it.
He got caught in between, should I shoot it or pass it? And
that's why I always say your choices have got to be absolute at this stage of the game.
Hyman stays with McLaughlin Ratty to prevent a 3. Here's Isaiah Harris, now on to him. The switch came, and he'll draw a couple of free throws with 4 minutes even on the clock.
And to see that turnover, Tim, again, I've seen this youngster play 4 or 5 games this year. That has never happened this year. In fact, his fourth quarter play has been excellent all season long in terms of takeover, score, rebound, get a quick steal. That right there was not indicative of what he's done this year.
But Albemarle has not been scared today of him. They have come at him and said, we're going to put the handcuffs on you if we can.
And they've done it with a taller, long arm type defender. And it has definitely affected his game.
Guys, we highlighted the free throws being a key for Green Run coming in. 3 for 9 now for the Patriots, 9 of 15 for the Stallions. So Greg Maynard shaking his head saying, I've been here 36 years. I want the state championship. We got to make some foul shots, fellas.
Well, we got half of a quarter to see how this goes.
36-34. Green Run has the lead as we tick under 4 minutes to go in regulation. A lot of nervous energy, whether they're rooting for Albemarle or Green Run. Cash Jackson dribbles to the right. Smith staying with him, but giving him some room to operate. Rudolph will set a screen. Jackson taking the air out of the ball a little bit.
Trying to set up one-on-one. Now, the problem with this is there's too much standing around on Green Run's part.
Not a lot of motion away from the ball. Here's Jackson. Second defender comes over to help. Jackson in the lane. Can't get the layup, but the offensive rebound is saved by his mate in Trey Miller, and they'll reset and try to do the same thing here with 3 minutes to play.
Wow.
Cash Jackson with a nifty move, and it's going to be a steal taken away by Harris, and a foul committed. And if that's on Jackson, that's number 4.
And that's the last foul to give in the quarter right there for Green Run. So it'll be foul shots for every foul from here on in against Albemarle.
Costly. And if Jackson fouls out of this game, the Stallions' chances take an enormous hit.
Yes, enormous is maybe not the word. He's going to have to play a little bit smarter. He forced that one.
Here is Claxton looking for Marjolin Jackson in the post. Face up against Trey Miller. Now he's backing down. Ball got poked for a moment. Marjolin Jackson, face up, move, shots way off the mark, rebounded by Rudolph. He's down the floor. They have numbers that they want him, but Green Run's not looking to rush here. I think they have to be a little more selective for the opportunity. Now the official's going to say wipe the spot on the floor, which is interesting with 2:44 to go, because had Green Run been on the move, would they have halted play?
Well,
you wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it right there. It looked as though that Rudolph had some difficulty with the handles there a little bit.
What the referees were doing was they wanted to see if Green Run was going to run. They didn't, so they called the official whistle to get the floor cleaned up so nobody slips. I understand that 100%. Had Green Run taken off with the ball, they would have not blown the whistle.
Stallions have it with Cash Jackson. He's got 4 fouls, and they bait him into an offensive foul.
Well, he's got to be careful. Oh, he's got to be careful extending that arm.
Oh.
Now that's number 4 on Carter, right?
He's done.
That's
Isaiah Carter fouls out with 2:35 to go, and that's number 4.
So, yeah, both teams in the bonus now. So, get your free throws together, guys. That might be the deciding factor on who wins this game.
Trey Miller now handling the basketball. Maybe a good move to prevent an offensive foul for Cash Jackson, but he's got the big fella checking him. Not a guard, which is interesting defensive strategy. The ball's loose. It's a turnover for Green Run. Stolen by the Patriots. And Albemarle coach Greg Maynard says, hold it. We're going to call a timeout here with 2:14 to go in regulation. Oh, we've got some drama at VCU as this has become a tug of war, if you will. Who's got the rope and who can pull it longer and harder than the other guy?
And who wants the basketball more, because we seem to be giving it up as soon as you get it.
No, I mean, you just look at this right here. The turnovers have been the story of this one here. No two ways about it. But really, just right now, it's like who is going to have that last little bit of momentum here at the tail end of this game that's going to be the difference on who wins and who finishes in second place.
I go back to free throws. Each team with 4 fouls. We're shooting free throws the rest of the way. Who can knock them down? Green Run has yet to get to the free throw line, which is pretty remarkable because Cash Jackson lived there in the first half with 8 attempts. Albemarle just split a pair with Isaiah Harris, who was 1 for 4. Makai Ragland, Marjolin Jackson, Zevion Robinson 1 for 2. So nobody's gone 2 for 2 in this game yet for Albemarle at the foul line, which if they get fouled, they need that to tie the game.
They do. They need to. Coach Maynard's just going to tell his guys right now, hey, play your game, chill. And if you get to the line, take your time. Do not rush your free throws.
McLaughlin Ratty is set to inbound it. Claxton, Harris, Jackson, and Ragland joining him. It's Rudolph, Gooden, Hymans, Ellison, and Miller on the floor defensively for Green Run. No Cash Jackson to prevent that 5th foul.
Yeah, that was surprising because if they get the ball right back and there's no timeout, they got to run an offense without Jackson on the floor.
Well, there will probably be a timeout. Here it is, Marjolin Jackson. Oh, did he travel?
They didn't call it.
He did it again, potentially. He's doubled up, nowhere to go. That might have been 2 travels they missed as we approach 2 minutes to go.
That was the cha-cha slide.
Oh, okay. You know all about those. Here's McLaughlin Ratty. Is he thinking about getting the lead here? Pulls up his dribble. Jackson. Now he's going to get called for the travel. 3rd time was the charm.
Yes. The referees made sure they called that one because he did get away with 2. Not 1, 2 travels.
Big possession coming up here for Green Run up 2.
Tim, he thought he was Ed Young on the dance floor.
Yes, there you go.
No, that cha-cha reminded me of Tim back in his cha-cha days. Tim could do the cha-cha. He didn't even need music from what I understand.
Oh. Gooden's going to inbound it. Cash Jackson just got back in for the Stallions. He's had big moments against Oscar Smith and Hampton and Woodside and Lansdowne, perennial powers across the state. Does he deliver here a championship? Smith defending him.
Got to get more movement of his teammates. They're standing
Double
and
teams
watching.
coming with Harris. Hymans gets it back. Now over to Gooden. Malik Gooden behind the back with the dribble. They're starting to trap now. Cash Jackson might have got bumped there by Claxton. No foul call. Over to Gooden with 1:22 to play. Jackson's got it, and he's fouled by Harris, and he's going to the free throw line with 1:19 to go.
You know, it looks like they were running the delay offense. But fellas, I don't think that's delay offense. They just couldn't get anything out of the offense, so keep the ball active, keep moving so you can avoid the double team, which is what Albemarle threw at him.
Cassidy Jackson at the line, 5 of 8 today. On the season, 63.9%. Money. Substitution as Rudolph comes in. Check that, he comes out. Ellison comes in. Jackson and Ratty in for Albemarle as Smith and Robinson head to the bench. Chance to make it a 2-possession game here with 79 seconds to go. Jackson is cash money at the foul line.
Boy, that thing taking forever to down, and almost a turnover right there for Green Run.
38-34, McLaughlin Ratty over to Isaiah Harris. Patriots do not need a 3, but they have to hurry here and play with some urgency.
And remember, Cash Jackson has 4 fouls.
But Albemarle's got to pick up the tempo here. They're not getting into anything offensively quickly. Here's Isaiah Harris. Stops. Pump fake. Gets Ellison off his feet, but over to McLaughlin Ratty. Gooden said to him, almost a travel. Marjolin Jackson for 3. It's short. Rebounded by Trey Miller. And under a minute to go, Green Run's got a 4-point lead. Hymans has to get rid of it, and there'll be a bump as the Stallions can almost sense it and taste it with 50.6 seconds to go. Green Run is closing in on its 2nd state championship, but they have to get it done from the free throw line, which was that number 3 key we outlined to go with. Find that 3rd option and defend the paint. They've done another 2 pretty well today, Ed, with defending Jackson, keeping him out of the paint, and getting some complimentary scoring with Trey Miller and Cash Jackson being relatively quiet today.
Yes, especially Miller. Miller on his worst days is 11, 12 points. He struggled to score this this game because of the defense being played on him.
Here's Hyman's at the line. Free throw is good. How about Green Run trying to salt it away from the free throw line? They got better in those losses. We touched on it. The rematch against Kellum, they went from 6 of 15 to 12 of 19. Woodside, 13 of 29 to 15 of 21. And as I said, I jinxed them, and it's going to be a foul against the Stallions, which will send Albemarle to the line. Maybe I spoke too soon here with 49.5.
And you walked him right into a foul. This is why we'd have to cut you.
Well, I think Kenneth Harris's wife, who's behind him in the stands, Charmaine, watching, will have a bone to pick with me later if they don't come out on top. But these are the two biggest free throws of Mekhi Ragland's young career, the sophomore, who leads them in scoring on the year.
As somebody once said, these are big free throws.
And he makes the first. Substitution now as Smith comes in to relieve McLaughlin Ratty. Marjalen Jackson will head to the bench. Julian Sims on the floor as well. That's the 6'1 junior forward wearing number 14 on your screen. But here's Ragland at the line to try to make it a 3-point deficit. And he does. He's got 7. Into Trey Miller, full court pressure. And we've got a timeout from Coach Kenneth Harris with 47.6 seconds to go. We've got some drama at the Siegel Center, 47.6 seconds to go. Can the Green Run boys join the Princess Anne girls and make it a Beach District celebration? Stallions trying to hang on to a 3-point lead after a timeout is called by Kenneth Harris. 39-36. Neither team has led by more than 6 points in this game.
Both teams have 3 timeouts. Both teams are in the foul shooting bonus.
This is where I brought it up at the beginning of the quarter. Albemarle has the possession arrow, so they should go for the ball.
Ellison bounces to Miller. He loses it. Stolen by Smith. Almost got the basket and won, but with 44.6 seconds to go, a near disaster for Green Run as Smith will head to the line, and the Patriots are trying to pull off a dramatic comeback here in the last minute plus.
Too many bodies on the inbound. When you bring your whole team in to get the inbounds at the opponent's basket, you run the risk of bringing the defense in.
Smith misses the first free throw. Now, you don't need to intentionally miss this one. It's way too much time here. You got to make here and go play some defense.
I don't want to intentionally miss, definitely, because, you know, he makes this 37, only down 2, 44 seconds.
He makes the second, 1 of 2. Ellison gets it into Jackson. Jackson has it deflected. Miller gets to it in time. Past the timeline, over to Gooden. Trying to pull it back. There's Trey Miller. Over to Jackson, 33 seconds to go.
They need to attack the ball. They got the possession arrow.
And it's going to be a foul on Albemarle. It's going to be on Smith. It'll be his 4th.
Fellas, you could tell when Jackson does not have the ball in his hands, it's a little nerve-wracking for the Green Run guys. They're looking for their leader.
You think?
You can tell they're not even looking at the basket. Trey Miller caught the ball with nobody between him and the basket. He didn't even look.
7 of 10 at the line. Money again.
This is where you need to hit those foul shots at this stage of the game.
Smith is subbed out, as is Sims. McLaughlin, Ratty, Ragland, Claxton, Jackson, and Harris for Albemarle. Hyman's, Ellison, Miller, and Gooden ready to go back on defense with the Stallions and Cash Jackson trying to make the lead 4 here. He does just that. 41-37.
Been there before many a time.
Here's a pass over to Claxton into the front court. They covered a lot of ground.
They got to make a quick shot here.
Isaiah Harris looking for a 3 potentially. He'll attack now in the lane, off the backboard, no good. Jackson the rebound. Stick back is there with 18.6 seconds to go, and Marjalen Jackson is able to make it a 2-point deficit again, 41-39. He's up to 13 points now in this game, just a fraction of a point above his average.
Big shot. Now, here we go. Green Run has shown a little nervousness in getting inbounds in. What do they run this time now? Because the last time they brought everybody down, which led Albemarle to have all their defenders in there and get their hands on an inbounds pass.
Now to keep in mind as well for this one, as I said on the last go down, Albemarle has the possession arrow. So if you can get a tie-up, you're going to get the ball back.
It's extremely important. Now, the one thing about reaching in for it too quickly, if Green Run's able to break the pressure, they could have a breakaway layup. Ed, let's ask you from the coaching standpoint, do you want to get that 4-point lead and stretch it out, or is it more important to just whittle the clock down and draw the foul because you don't know what will happen at the foul line, or if you get a chance to go in for a layup, are you telling your kids go take it?
Yeah, if I have a layup and I have a clear layup, we're going to get the points. If not, they're going to have to foul you, because if you don't, you can run the clock out. So they're going to be all over you. But right now, inbounds right here is big, and they have all 5 guys on one end of the floor.
Almost surprised they don't have one ready to leak out for that breakaway.
I think they very well might.
Here it is with Ellison, ready to get it in. Can't get it in, and Goodney does in the corner. He'll work the sideline into the middle of the floor, and there's a foul. So he'll be shooting free throws here with 16.8 seconds to go.
That might have been Smith's 5th.
That is his 5th. He is done. So the primary defender on Cash Jackson is fouled out if this game is to go to overtime. We say primary defender because he really, I don't know if that was the game plan coming in, but he's become, in many ways, the primary defender unexpectedly on Cash Jackson.
Yeah, his spider like looking type body with those long arms and legs has caused Jackson some problems today.
The minute you said spider, there's going to break into his John Gruden, Tim, the spider 3-wide banana.
Spider banana, baby.
Here's Malik Gooden. 3 timeouts up for the Stallions, 2 for Albemarle. Misses the first.
Oh, wow. So it'll still be a 1-possession game regardless of what happens here.
Which begs the question, would Green Run start a foul?
There is no one here from Green Run down here to rebound. So if he misses,
they're giving the rebound up on purpose.
He misses them both. Rebounded by Ragland.
There we go.
Patriots looking for a tie or the lead. And Greg Maynard will use one of those 2 timeouts left.
12 seconds to go.
12.1 to go.
This is high school basketball at its best.
Oh, how do you not love this? Especially this time of year, right here, right now, with a game on the line. You just love to see it.
Well, and they found the guy to foul in Malik Gooden, who probably hasn't been in that pressurized spot before. And had Green Run made 1 or 2 free throws, you could have brought up the discussion of, do you foul up 3 to prevent a game-tying 3? But now leading by 2, you absolutely do not want to foul.
No, you don't want to foul now because you're sent up to the line to tie the game.
You're never going to take that chance up 2. There's 1 timeout left here for Albemarle, 3 for Green Run.
I don't know if you noticed, but when Good went to the foul line, Coach Harris did not watch either of the 2 free throws. I think he knew something.
Oh, boy.
He did not. I watched him. He walked down the bench and looked straight up in the stands for both shots.
He supposedly did that. You were there at Ocean Lakes. I wasn't. I was flying back from Pensacola, but he supposedly did that Friday night based on what Larry Obama wrote in the pilot from that game. Of course, you hit the door early. You wanted to beat the traffic, didn't you?
And here come the...
Plus, had to go get something to eat.
Here come the Patriots.
And the Patriots can inbound right here next to their hoop with McLaughlin Ratty. Do they go for a 3 and the win?
No, they're going Jackson inside.
Here they come. Albemarle set to get it in. 12 ticks to play. Ragland inside. 2 defenders surrounding him. And we're tied up with 8 seconds to go. Cash Jackson with 5, 4. Jackson to the basket. Layup. It's good at the buzzer. Green Run has captured the 2025 Virginia High School League State Basketball Championship at the buzzer. And all I can say, fellas, is there might be an angel above by the name of Ashley James watching down, because Tim, the guy to my left, lost on a buzzer beater to Green Run in the regional semifinals 5 years ago from half court by Ashley James. And Cash Jackson does it in dramatic fashion to bring Green Run the title. What a finish.
What a drive right there on that final basket. He just was going full bore and just put it up and in there. What a way to finish this game up.
Told you, game is on the line. He's the guy that's going to do it. I've seen it all year long. 4th quarter, he takes over.
And how about Albemarle? Ragland steps up to the plate. No timeouts are called by the Stallions. They had 3 left. Coach Harris trusted his point guard to go coast to coast, and it was better than butter and toast.
Man, just what a way to close out the first session of games here, guys. tremendous, tremendous effort on both sides. Heartbreak for Albemarle, jubilation for Green Run. Man, just what a way to wrap that one up.
Fellas, the second time in 3 years the Class 5 championship ended at the buzzer. We brought it up earlier when Woodside erased a large deficit against Patrick Henry of Vernon with Christian Greenlaw's game winner, and Cash Jackson does it today for Green Run. Look at the jubilation, the heartbreak for Albemarle, and the celebration with tears of celebration and sadness for the Stallions, because they're both just wrapped up in this moment. There's so many emotions both ways, Ed. I mean, you couldn't have scripted a better end to a ball game than that, where you get a tie up, no timeout, they play on, and Cash Jackson, who's done it time and time again, comes through in crunch time.
And you just see it on the sideline right there with Albemarle. I mean, just they played so hard, and it looked like that it was going their way there in the third quarter. They were hoping that maybe they could have gotten a foul on that drive when they tied it up, but unfortunately for them, I mean,
no, I thought.
And now with a record of 24-2 from Virginia Beach, Virginia, your 2025 VHSL Class 5 boys basketball champions, the Green Run Stallions. Number 0, Julius Hyman. Number 1, Sean Michael Gooden. Number 2, Elijah Ellison. Number 3, Monte Rudolph. Number 4, Dejon Burrell Williams, Jaden Walker. Number 20, Malik Roundtree. Number 21, Alexander Grimby. Number 22, Sean Bray Smith. Number 23, DeAndre Davis. And number 24, Dan Johnson Brown. And now, the presentation of the championship trophy to the Green Run Stallions. Congratulations to both teams on their accomplishments this season, and thank you for your support of VHSL programs.
There you are, the Green Run Stallions, your 2024-2025 VHSL Class 5 state basketball champions. Cash Jackson didn't have a field goal until the 5:27 mark of the fourth quarter, but he gets the game winner. What a ball game, fellas, 43-41. You feel for Albemarle, but you feel also jubilation for Green Run to get this done, and I had to share the title after doing so 5 years ago.
just a tremendous finish to this one. Neither team looked like that they could find that extra gear early on, but once they found it, this game got way more competitive, and just you see it right here. I mean, you see just the heartbreak over on Albemarle's side. Some of those players, having to have some help over to the locker room after all that. But on the other side, Green Run, just a tremendous, tremendous finish in this one. A great accomplishment on their part.
Ed, I know you're almost speechless over there because you've faced, obviously you used to coach at Green Run, so you have some history there, and you faced that dramatic shot above Ashley James, but that's just what comes to my mind. He's been such an iconic figure there. We talked about Trey Miller passing B.J. Jenkins for the all-time scoring record, which you coached him. A.J. who had that shot to get them to their first state tournament under Coach Harris. To win it this way, like Tim said, you feel the heartbreak and agony for Greg Maynard. He's so close to his first state title in 36 years, but this was a quality ball game between two class programs, and Green Run got it done behind the guy that's been the straw that stirs the drink, Cash Jackson.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. I've seen it, like I said, all year. He's taken over in fourth quarters and scoring mostly from the field, but this time with strictly foul line. He was 9 of 12 from the free throw line, only 2 of 8 from the field today. So his free throw line is what he really did it on it. And Albemarle, you look at what happened to Albemarle, good third quarter, but they were 0 for 13 in the game from the three-point line. Even though Green Run wasn't much better, 3 of 19, but that last shot was one.
If you hit just one, you win by one, right? But the Stallions found a way in a game where neither team led by 6 points, 9 ties, 10 lead changes. It wasn't a thing of beauty for much of the way, but it will go down as an instant classic because of the finish we saw between two really evenly matched competitive programs.
Yeah, no two ways about that. Again, just a great game right here. Again, get the feeling that that finale is going to be passed around quite a bit right here as we continue along.
So we want to thank our entire NFHS Network team, from Tim Blank, my partner here and graphics coordinator, as well as Ryan DeGurda on camera, and the coach, Ed Young. I'm Matthew Hatfield. We thank you all for watching, and if you missed the action, it's all available on demand on the NFHS Network. Our final score, Green Run, the Class 5 state champions, defeating the Albemarle Patriots 43-41. We have more state championship action coming your way on this Thursday with the Class 2 girls and Class 2 boys. Central Wise girls taking on John Marshall, and John Marshall boys facing the G-men of Graham High School. Until then, we say so long from Richmond, Virginia.